What is up guys, Joe here back with another video. Today I wanted to cover how to use Chat GPT to construct the perfect retirement portfolio and how to earn monthly income. So for anyone who's new to investing, this is going to cover how to get started with ETFs, mutual funds, stocks, and dividend payouts. So through the power of artificial intelligence, we can custom tailor our portfolio and get started on the road to success. Let's get started. So the website here would be openai.com/chat, and you would enter a question down here in the prompt box. So this video is not sponsored by any broker. This is strictly an informational and educational video, but I highly recommend you sign up for Vanguard for your retirement account. They have the lowest fees when it comes to retirement accounts and the best mutual funds and ETFs. You can sign up for various products such as an IRA or a 401k. But if you're going the stock route, Robinhood also is a great choice for individual stocks, and they actually also launched a retirement IRA product. So that would be another option to you if you already have Robinhood and you like using Robinhood. I will admit the app is pretty cool. So for this example, I'm going to ask questions tailored to a Vanguard account, being that Vanguard has the lowest fees, and you can also purchase Vanguard ETFs on other brokers such as Robinhood. So you're not tied down to Vanguard itself. So let's ask the first question. What is the ideal portfolio using Vanguard ETFs? And right away we get a very detailed response. So what is an ETF? Essentially, an ETF is an exchange traded fund, meaning it's a bundle of stocks that's traded as a single product. So the ideal portfolio using Vanguard ETFs will depend on an individual's financial goals, risk tolerance, and investment time horizon. Commonly recommended portfolio is globally diversified portfolio of low-cost index funds that aligns with an individual's financial goals. A popular strategy is to allocate a portion of the portfolio to stock and bond market indices with an allocation to international stocks and bonds. So it gives you a breakdown of the three main areas you should focus on: the total stock market ETF, ticker symbol VTI, the total international stock ETF, VXUS, and total bond market ETF, BND. So this precisely lines up with the Vanguard portfolio allocation model. And starting from the top, you get the most conservative type of portfolio, which is 100% bonds. This is the most conservative, and this would yield the lowest returns. But as you go lower, you start getting a blend of 50% stocks and 50% bonds. And this is halfway conservative, halfway growth stocks. So if you're young, this is definitely a starting point. And if we go lower, we have something like a growth portfolio. And growth portfolio consists mostly of stocks expected to appreciate, taking into account long-term potential and potentially large short-term price fluctuations. So anyone who's young and in their 20s or 30s, this is definitely a good starting point. 70% stocks and 30% bonds. The average annual return for something like this is 10.5% per year. And something that is the most aggressive would be a 100% stock allocation. You have more room for gains, but realize that this is the most riskiest because stocks tend to be much more volatile compared to bonds. So ChatGPT's response here is a blend of stocks and bonds, and that aligns perfectly with this growth portfolio. And this aligns perfectly with the founder of Vanguard's vision, John Bogle. We can confirm this by asking ChatGPT, is this a John Bogle strategy? Yes, this portfolio allocation strategy is influenced by the principles of John Bogle, who is a pioneer of low-cost passive investing. So now we can dive deeper into the individual compositions of each of these ETFs. Let's take a look. So for the total stock market ETF, the VTI, this has a current market price of $210 per share, and the expense ratio for this is 0.03. So think of an expense ratio as a management fee or as a maintenance fee. So 0.03 is the industry's lowest fee. So for every $10,000 invested, that means you're only charged $3 per those 10,000. Other brokers out there charge a lot more than this, and this is why I offer Vanguard to new investors. So VTI, let's dive under the hood to see what the portfolio is composed of. Let's click on here. So under VTI, there are a number of 3,992 stocks. And this pie chart here breaks down the individual sectors that comprise the VTI as a whole. So technology stocks within this fund comprise of 23% of the entire fund. So just to give you an idea of what we're looking at, let's go to finviz.com, and on the right here we have our heat map of the S&P 500, and the S&P 500 are the top 500 American companies. Click on here. So here we have the different sectors comprising of the S&P 500: technology, communication services, consumer cyclical, financial, healthcare, energy, the list goes on. So for VTI itself, it's pretty overweight when it comes to consumer discretionary stocks, also financials and healthcare, even technology. And lastly, we can look at the holding details. So the top holdings for this product are Apple. So Apple comprises of 5% of the entire fund. Microsoft is 4%. And Amazon 1.9, Google 1.38, Berkshire Hathaway 1.36, the list goes on. So obviously as an investor, you're entitled to know what you are investing in. Cool, so that's VTI. Let's dive deeper into the VXUS. This is the total international stock ETF and a current market price of 56.61, expense ratio of 0.07. So for every $10,000 invested into this fund, that's only a $7 maintenance fee. And let's look at the portfolio. So here's a breakdown of some of the holding details. Taiwan Semiconductor, that's 1.3% of its funds. Nestle, 1.16, Tencent, ASML, Roche Holding, the list goes on. So that's VXUS. And now BND, the total bond market ETF with a current market price of $74.58 and an expense ratio of 0.03. So if we look at the portfolio composition here, 67% of US government bonds, that's great. So bonds tend to be fixed income. So these are some of the company bonds it offers. There's AbbVie, there's AirCap Ireland Capital, Amazon bonds, Abbott Laboratories, American Express bonds. So think of a bond as a direct loan to that specific company, and they use those loans to grow their business. And in return, they pay you interest for borrowing your money. Don't forget, bonds tend to be low risk, low yield, so definitely a safer strategy when it comes to comparison with stocks. So those three ETFs I just mentioned definitely follow the growth portfolio strategy of 70% stocks and 30% bonds. So for new investors, I do recommend you make an allocation that is similar to this. And again, I'm not loyal to Vanguard ETFs. We can also ask if there are any alternatives out there. Can you show me alternatives to this list? So it did generate 3 different alternatives that are non-Vanguard funds. So we do have the iShares Core S&P, ticker symbol ITOT, or the iShares MSCI ETF, ticker symbol ACWI, or even the iShares Core US Aggregate Bond ETF, ticker AGG. So when it comes to generating cash flow, let's take a look at some monthly dividend payouts we can include in our portfolio. What are some monthly ETFs? So here we have a detailed list of some monthly ETFs we can purchase. I personally own the VYM, which is Vanguard High Dividend Yield ETF, and the SCHD, which is the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. And again, you can dive deeper into what each of these funds comprise of and their underlying companies. So hopefully with these tools, you can begin your journey on opening a retirement account and investing in ETFs and dividend companies. You can get super creative with Chat GPT, and we've barely scratched the surface in terms of how in-depth we can get with the questions and answers regarding investing. I'll definitely be integrating it more into this channel. Let me know what you think. And as always, if you have any questions, please leave a question in the comment section. I'll be happy to respond. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.